All right. Last time we left off, we had just finished a rousing combat against the Captain Gons, who you had previously thought was dead, but was not really dead, but was actually sharing a body soul-wise with him and the first Emperor Zhao of the Zhao Dynasty, where it was just a collective, strange series of events where he was one-shot immediately. I want to say it's the equivalent of being thrown a draw 4 while you already have all your cards in your hand. A couple of flamethrower explosions, a misdirection leading some of the guys over to be just shot by a machine gun. But you did manage to save the chef and Ronald. I want to say his name was Ronald, the guy who was your guide. So as far as a other thing, as you're searching through all the gear, after thoroughly searching through the rest of the gear at the camp before moving on, you all discover that the captain was carrying two different types of ammunition. One, the typical jacket ball ammunition, but the other seems to be made of silver. One of the magazines that contained the silver rounds was already loaded in the Luger, in his pistol, essentially. Carl, your basics on occult stuff would tell you, yeah, this is typically used for monster killing. As far as Montre's knowledge knows about his own kind, he does not recall being weak to silver.
It was not a very common use metal, but it wasn't something we were all either weak to. We just weren't made of it.
Yes.
Why?
I would like to take the Luger with the silver rounds in it.
Okay, you're just going to take the silver rounds for it?
I'll just take the whole Luger.
Okay. I just meant you're taking the Luger that has the mag already in it, and then the other mag, or you're just taking the Luger?
Both mags are for the Luger, right? Yeah, I'll take it all.
The odd thing, after searching all the gear, he's the only one that has this set ammunition. That's your little tidbit.
Okay.
And I believe the next course of action was everybody returning to the Dingo to get out of this place.
Yeah, I want to get myself away from this place. I'm going to say, yep. What a concept.
I could use a little space myself.
It's always nice when someone gets it.
I wasn't going to point it out. As you all approach the Dingo from where you left it, you notice more German soldiers laying on the side of the Dingo. They appear to be motionless, and when you get a closer look, you can see stab wounds secreting blood all over the uniforms. After everybody loads up into the Dingo, you see a silhouette of a man close to the top of the trees. He sits there for a few moments before leaving into the jungle.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Can everybody give me a notice roll at a -4?
Pondo, if you just want us to lose, you can just tell us that.
No, I mean, that is my... I want you to highly unlikely get it. You got a 4, so you succeeds. Harlen got a 5, of course. Okay, they won. Harlen and Sean, you both, as you move along the jungle as fast as pace you can, but it's still relatively slow, trying to avoid all the trees and not getting stuck on places. You do notice that there is a guy in the tree lane still kind of following you, watching you as you go along.
Does he seem hostile?
Not at the moment. I would say you'd be able to determine that he's determining if you're hostile.
Do we have any idea what he's determining that with? And by that, I'm asking, like, does he seem upset if we step on certain things, like trample on plants, or some of us are wearing Nazi uniforms, for instance?
I'm a big robot man.
You're a big robot man, but you're wearing a coat, right?
It's open right now because we did the whole I was pretending to not be.
Oh, right. We had you pretend to be a statue at some point as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be able to determine that since you're leaving away from the jungle, you're fine.
Okay.
And you don't seem to be destructive to it, unlike the Germans were.
At least to a lesser extent
Yes.
than they were.
Interesting.
Like, you're not trying to chop down trees to clear your path. You're just kind of sure you're running over some things here and there, but...
Yeah, I was about to say, the German mode of operation from your original description was, we're here now, this is our space, so let's burn it all.
Chainsaws and flamethrowers.
It was more so, all right, let's clear a potential helipad, so that way we can get out here easier, instead of having to climb a rope.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Gonna notice that Harlen also notices, and I'm just gonna quietly move next to him. This is a rare combo, the Sean Harlen combo, and I'm gonna speak sideways and just say, I'm not sure we should. Sorry, I say Irishly because I have to remember. I'm not sure we should do anything about this with him following us.
As long as they don't stop us from leaving and don't do anything, I don't see any reason to cause more problems than we've already had.
I agree. And that's it then.
Okay.
Are we in the dingo now? And
Yeah,
we're driving or
so-
we're walking out?
You're driving out.
Okay.
It was the first awkward situation where we had to turn the dingo around along with the trailer, the wagon you guys had.
Sure.
That was hauling the chef and Ronald.
I'm going to explain to the chef that he is now a liability and probably unwelcome throughout large parts of Europe, given his involvement with us, and that it would be very safe for him to retire to the villa that I gifted Julius Caesar, that it needs a, someone that can just, like, pretend to make food occasionally, like a caretaker. I want to pay this guy to, like, professionally retire for the rest of his life and take care of that villa. And I don't even mean, like, this guy needs to, like, clean or anything. I just mean that, like, once a week, he has to, like, set up a pizza oven outside and serve pizza to passersby for cheap.
So you
And
can get
that's
that tax write-off. Got it. Yeah.
I mean,
for entertainment service.
I want him to be seen to not be somewhere threatening to anyone.
Like he's hiding out.
Yeah, he's gonna hide out.
Okay.
And he's gonna make it look like the place is occupied by one or more humans who eat food regularly.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Listen, I'm trying to keep this guy alive, all right? I feel like you want him to die, Pondo. And while he has been slightly rude,
If I wanted him
does
to die,
make
I
us
would have just
good
had him
food.
dead.
well, that, you might have felt that you needed to justify it to us. I don't know how your twisted mind works. That was super rude.
No, it's
I don't
fair.
know how your twisted mind works.
I had no reason to shoot an unarmed civilian in the middle of the jungle.
So you claim.
Although now, once you get found out, I do have a reason to shoot an unarmed civilian outside in the jungle.
No, wait, hold on. Found out. Hold on. Several questions. What do you mean found out? Everyone who's encountered us is dead. No one even knows we were here at this point, except the people in the
Except
village.
that guy who was just there.
You mean Ronald, the guy who's in the car with us?
No,
Oh, and the dude who has been systematically eliminating Nazis for weeks. That guy. You think? Okay. Sure. I mean, there are some loose ends. I'm just gonna look at I'm gonna look at the chef and just be like, look, you're a loose end. You're a liability. I want to save your life. Accept this deal from me. I'm gonna take care of you. You're gonna be fine.
Let me make you an offer you can't refuse.
No. Just because I'm sending him to Italy doesn't mean I'm saying that exact phrase. In fact, I'm avoiding saying that phrase.
it's the same thing, just an Irish way. I'm gonna take you out to the farms, but you're not actually going to the farms. You're just going to my villa in Italy, where you occasionally.
Why is everyone trying to make me seem like I'm the bad guy here?
You
I
did
like that you're
shoot?
trying that, and it's still my brain is like, oh no, send me to a villa, and I don't have to work for my food. Oh
Yeah.
dear.
No,
Well,
yeah.
some people look.
What a
I'm gonna
terrible life.
be real with you. Some people do live to work. Their whole life is based around their work. I don't know if this guy's one of them. Okay, I'm not making any assumptions. I'm making an offer.
I'm going to say no. I mean, he's pretty solid with that. He's not one of those people. I do know what you mean, though. I have seen people that they would just do nothing and die if they actually retired. No, he's pretty cool with that. He can
Okay.
work on his cookbook. That's a
Okay.
popular thing nowadays. Cookbook. No, what I meant is that the potential of getting found out as you left a pile of German soldiers who were bound and shot in cold blood.
You know what? I'm gonna pray inwardly towards God right now, and I'm gonna say, God, I know that you, not the Christian God, but the Game Master, have said a lot of stuff about cold blood. But let me say this, all right? Let me say this: the just war doctrine put forward by Saint Thomas Aquinas, who was sainted because of his biblical understanding of a just war theory, says that if we allow evil to persist without stopping it, we are failing in our duty as Christians. And that is really summing up quite a long document. Might not be technically accurate, but I didn't want to turn this into a Christian theology podcast.
Okay.
So I'm just checking in with you, both gods, both the actual Christian God and the Game Master. These are bad people. We've watched them do bad things in the past. We know that they do bad things here. They were going to do bad things in the future. I'm not even metagaming on this one, given the state of Nazi Germany. Just in 1936, Nazis are doing bad things publicly.
Fair enough.
I'm just asking. Oh Lord, both lords above me, please, please. I get that gunning a bunch of people down is not great, but I don't know that my soul should be in jeopardy. I feel pretty backed up on this one.
It's not in jeopardy yet.
Okay, I'm gonna stop praying because I'm also driving.
Are you driving? I thought it'd be Carl the one driving.
Carl has to
All right.
drive first.
Sure.
I barely got it this far. I'm the one who's gonna have to get it back out. Once we get closer to the town, you'll certainly, hand you back the wheel if you want it.
I mean,
No,
I
I'll
can make
let
you roll.
you
I
drive.
wasn't going
I'm
to
gonna
make you
pray
roll
in the
for it,
back.
but you can roll for it if
I'm
you
gonna
want.
pray.
I'll make you use up those 2 bennies you have. All right, you guys do make it back to the plane, and you fly back to the lodge back in England. The main to note about when you make it back to the lodge, Julius has returned from his mini vacation over Italy, and along with the rest of the B team is there at the moment.
I want to check in with Julius immediately.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring Julius into a group huddle with the rest of our group.
I imagine Julius is just sitting there reading a book or something, and just awkwardly group huddle around him.
Jules, how's it going, man? You want to try some of this melon? We brought back some South African melon.
I would if I had a mouth.
Right. How did you enjoy Italy?
It was busier, but also not at the
Okay.
same time.
I mean, there's going to be like millions more people alive than then, yeah.
Like less slaves, less slaves with whips being whipped. How about that?
Sure.
I don't know
Okay.
if you're considering that the current fascist climate there is. How about the slave by definition, not by metaphorical, not calling it directly political, since that again, it was all right.
Okay, you had an interesting time. Cool. What are you thinking about doing with yourself now that you're back?
I've been brushing up a lot on the whole Christian fiasco that occurred soon after, very, very shortly, I guess.
I'm
Considering,
going to let the word fiasco slide here. Keep going.
right, that not necessarily fiasco now, it was fiasco after I died. Again, getting hung up on details here, and it's just a matter of the old saying of how things change, but the more they say the same.
Montre is nodding.
Okay, you know what? I feel that you're implying something else. I'm going to take your statement to mean that Christianity hasn't changed since its base roots, which means that the Bible works.
It's
That's
more
how
so.
I am going to interpret your statement. God bless you.
Okay, that was
Books
more
do
so.
tend to do things like hold up shaky objects. I found even the Bible does it.
It's more. I was intrigued by the idea of the Crusades. It was just war with extra.
Okay, well, as long as you didn't look at the 8th Crusade, we'll be all right.
Yes, but I see you do not want to talk about such a thing. It was all right.
Yeah, cool.
How was your trip to? I don't know where you went. Actually, I didn't really ask before I was sent over to.
Africa.
Oh
yeah,
yes,
we
that's
discovered more sites that, like where we found you.
interesting.
I don't actually know. I wasn't there, and the group hasn't briefed me. But there was some talk about several other locations around the world.
Interesting. So more secret society type stuff, like kind of what's happened with me, or are we talking about the progenitors of said society?
The
I just look at the
progenitors,
rest of the group. Okay, progenitors. Yeah, sure.
my creators.
Ah, the one that made you and the one that made the suit that I'm now stuck in. Well,
Indeed,
kind of stuck.
could be worse.
I suppose I could just take the knife at any point and just suck myself back into it, and then hope someone puts me in something else.
I don't
I mean,
know
do
if
you
it
want
works
us to
like
do that?
Maybe in a bigger body. I don't know. We'll figure
Perhaps
it.
when we have a better option available already, we can consider it.
That's a good point. Anyway, so you discovered more of I don't know what to call your race or your people.
Human?
Well,
Um,
technically, the precursors were their own thing, and I am just a automaton.
Hmm.
I'm assuming my soul, like your own, was human, but they didn't really go into it. It wasn't like a subject they were talking about. They were talking about storage and setting things up for the future. And unfortunately, whatever future they were waiting to pop out of a bubble somewhere and just be like, ta-da, we're here to fix everything. seems to have either not happened or we waylaid it by finding them first.
I see.
We could just ignore them and, or we could do the smart thing, which in this case is secure them so others that want to turn normal good people into super killing machines can't.
And you're fine with
Carl's
this?
just drinking while all this is happening.
So you're fine with keeping your past civilization in the past?
It wasn't mine. I was just a servant.
I see.
I was, I guess the best way to say it is I was an automated door guard, more like a latch to a key than anything else.
So you're kind of in the situation where you're, in a sense, born and raised to be a soldier, and that's it. Kind of like, like the old
Good.
Spartans.
Good enough. I'm a defender, and I enjoy defending this group. They are fun.
That is a fair way to put that. I am slightly curious about essentially how they, I was going to say, the program, I don't know if that's a word back in then, but programmed your mindset as compared to what it was before you were put into your body. But
I
that must
honestly don't want to find out. I would hate to find out I was disagreeable with my current form, since I've gotten so used to it since I've regained my ability to think. That'd be disconcerting. To hate yourself and not even hate yourself? That would be confusing. But I understand your meaning.
He like stares at Montre, trying to to evaluate the same sort of circumstances between him and Montre, but the vastly different mindsets of it.
He kind of chuckles. He's like, "It's okay. Don't worry about me.
I
I'm
suppose.
doing what I like to do. I get to aggressively express myself to protect my friends. That's what more could a soldier need?"
I suppose that is all that counts.
And the professor will definitely enjoy talking to his friends about the locations we found. There is one that we found that is actually a biosphere of a sort to set up for the future in case the planet was completely devoid of all life. Like, why would you plan that before you even seeded all life on the planet in the first place? It's crazy. But the creators did. Weird.
Well, I guess perhaps they were either planning on clearing it themselves or just letting it die out.
That would make sense. Morbid, but makes sense.
Well,
I can't. Well, kind of shrugs. I can't really assign motions. I don't remember much of them. Yeah. Yeah, in comparison. Oh, and fun thing, and he like pulls out his sword or whatever he got. He's like, "This fires your soul at things. It hurts people." No, it just makes me really tired. I think that's technically the same, but I don't have the ability to feel the pain. Now that I think about it.
Carl pours himself another drink.
It's like I like him, but my God.
We're not currently sure about how permanent using your soul as ammunition is.
I leak. It kind of tink tinks on his like a glass part. So do you.
He certainly hasn't complained any of the times I've been working on him.
I feel it. It's just not important. I'm sure that since you are closer to your humanity, that you'd maintain some form of echo. I don't know what that is, but that sounds like a very fair statement. Yes. That especially. I think that's kind of what they used to create the idea for all this. It's a weird thing. It's hard to tell because I mean you can't just pop a soul out and look at it. They could, which I don't get. But anywho, I'm glad you had fun though, because we had fun too. I've got a spare broken one in the plane. I'm going to try to fix it. A spare body. I took one. There was a guy, they made a different version of us using some that they apparently found in Germany. So I was going to take this and repair it up and see what happens. There was 2 archives, which were there's archives, there was a specimen reserve, there was a minerals and materials point, which I'm assuming is sort of like a depot. And Germany and Peru were the same. I'm assuming they have Germany since they're from Germany and they had suits of me and you in your current form walking
They don't
around
seem to
in
be
suit.
able to track these locations as well as we are. So it seems most likely they found at least one of their own.
So they have a general idea where they're probably going to be, and that's why I made sure to lock down the Peru site as best possible. Now, I'm hoping, since I'm actually supposed to interface with the device, it will, not work for them. But if they get back there before we do, it's possible they could damage it to make it work. Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that part. I am sorry. I assumed Sean was hoping you would help us in the future and just wanted to keep you informed.
You don't have to help us. I just felt you should be kept in the loop. We're having a casual conversation that started with, "Hey, what's up with you? What are you doing?" And then we told you what we were doing because you asked us.
Speaking of staying informed, I'm going to go to a library.
I'm gonna make a phone call.
Well, he wants to go to a library outside of this place. He wants to go look at some like newspaper archives, and he wants to do so away from the rest of the group. The whole thing is already like that. The whole conversation happening in so many ways is already upsetting to Carl. And with everything that happened and all the things that he's been told, and he wants to go. He wants to review news about the state of things in Germany.
Montre just nods. You just do. Doesn't always help to actually understand it, though. It's just knowledge is still power, though, even today. See here. Peru is the resting / armory of soldiers. Let's see. Dot in Germany, same as Peru. Peru was resting / armory of soldiers. That's what I wrote here. Oh, where we were in Africa, I keep getting my places all messed up. Okay, because I've got Dot in U.S. is in archives. Dot in Antarctica was a specimen reserve. Dot in Germany, same as Peru. Dot in Australia was the minerals / materials point. Peru was a resting / armory of soldiers.
Look, Julius, I think we need to have a flashback. And we cut back to everybody on the plane.
Force
And
your
I
friends back
say,
together.
yeah, I was going to say we'll have it here, but, Carl just left and Julius is here, so we can't have that conversation. So we're going to have it in the past and just say, okay, so I know I don't sound Irish because I've completely lost my Irish accent because it's been like 3 months since we played, but I, Sean Dublin, am very Irish. A lot happened back there, and it seems like we need to have a conversation. People had some expressions to seeing things that went down, and I just want to give everybody a chance to clear the air here. How we doing?
It does seem necessary that we establish what we're going to be doing. As
No.
of yet,
Don't concern yourself with the future. I'm talking about the past. If this was some kind of flashback, I'm talking about even the further past. People saw a lot of dead German soldiers, and there were some mixed reviews. And I just want to make sure we all know why it happened and we know where everybody stands. and figure out if that's something we want to see in the future.
Harlen's totally on board.
All right. Harlen, who is speaking to us in third person, is totally on board. Cool.
Yeah, like Carl is like leaning up, like leaning to the side and looking back where everyone else is. He's in the cockpit, and Harlan says that, and he says, "Yeah, we know you are."
All right, Carl, do you have something to share with the class?
I was not expecting this kind of violence. It's one thing when we're being attacked, obviously, we have the right to live. But if we're not planning on allowing anybody to live, then there can't be any charade about mercy or taking prisoners. Killing a prisoner it's absolutely unacceptable.
Okay. What would you have had us as a group, you and me specifically, do with those men?
I guess we'd taken their equipment and left them there. Then after we had done our business and left, we know that contraption was going to bring more. If we were going to take them as prisoners and we weren't going to take them with us, then they could at least have been taken by their own people.
So you're aware that we are in a conflict with a group who absolutely intends us violence and are claiming relics, some of which we do understand, which are incredibly powerful, and some of which we don't understand, which could be incredibly dangerous, whose stated goal is world domination. And you would like us to return soldiers to them to go into conflict with us again. I'm not asking
If we're not-
facetiously. I'm
I-
curious.
I know, Sean. I understand that there's going to be more fighting, and I'll fight back. That's not a concern. But
You had, just to be clear, you had not made that decision at the time I did that. If you'll recall, I specifically attempted to protect you from having to kill your own people, Germans. And you made the choice to double down on that. But I was not aware that you had that in you at the time. But you agree that in the future, you may have to kill these people in a non-theoretical situation. People who we may have already disarmed and defeated, we may have to face them in gunfire again. So then let me ask you, what if one of them kills Effie or Harlen and just shoots them in the future? Someone we had let go. Are you ready to take responsibility because it made you feel, I don't know, more moral or just or something? Because you didn't eliminate a threat to us, to the world?
That's not your job here to make that decision for humanity. That's literally mine. I'm the trigger, and I am the guard, and I am the shield.
And what would you have done with those men?
I wouldn't have taken them prisoner in the first place. I would have killed them wholesale and just walked through the bodies like a farmer through wheat.
So
But-
you agree that we should have killed them in general?
In general, but not the way you did. That was, you had won. You had proven your dominance, and you could have just left them there and had been less cruel to your friends. There's no
Cruel.
victory
Interesting.
here. There's no
I-
victory there.
I
It's
had a revelation, and I know that I haven't explained that to all of you. And some of it may not have been caught in the recording for the audience, is my recollection. But everyone heard my pretty good revelation. And I feel like I've also explained at length several times, so I'm not going to quadruple down on it. But
yeah, Montre nods. He's like, I'm not saying that you don't feel justified. It's just some of your friends aren't comfortable in that situation. That's why I'm here.
so
It's
you
so
feel
I
like
can do
you
it.
should take it upon yourself.
It's not a
Look.
taking. It just is my job is to kill. I don't
Look.
have many other skills.
Look, Sean, all I'm saying is I accept the fact that violence is probably going to become necessary from now on out. But I'm telling you where my line is. If we take somebody prisoner, I will treat them with dignity. That is my line. If you don't want to deal with prisoners, then either avoid the fight or just finish it outright. But I'm not going to abuse or murder prisoners.
Effie, you've been quiet. Just for the folks at home, by the way, what Sean just did is an extremely manipulative, abusive thing where rather than addressing the issue, there's the pivot to get somebody else's input and seem collaborative.
What you did was wrong. That's my opinion about it.
We cut back to the present. Sean looks over at
Wow.
everybody and then leaves to go get a phone. Whoa! What do you mean, wow? What more was there to discuss? Everyone laid out their thoughts on the issue that happened. What do you mean, wow? Look. All right, we flashback back. What more do you want to say? Second flashback.
Yeah, I just did it because I knew I was thinking in my brain, what would AP do if we had done this scenario without him being the one talking?
If we had his flash forward on him.
So I said, wow.
All right. I tell everybody what the next step is. And I say, I know that Carl isn't here. He left without saying anything suddenly in the middle of a conversation, which was unusual for him, but he's having a tough time. I'm going to make a phone call to Reslin Omer. And then I stand up and I go make a phone call to Reslin Omer. A year? I thought it's only been a couple of months and he moved out very quickly. Listen, if it's been a year, then by the way, his level of patience is incredible. I send out a genuine and sincere phone call, and if I don't have his direct number, which is perfectly fine, I do have influential and connected and all that stuff. So I get at some point somewhere that I'm trying to have a meeting to lay out some ground rules. I'm not in this system. There's not networking. No, I just have the traits for... Okay, you want me to make a roll? I don't have any negatives on this, right? I got a 6. Wow, 1936, huh? Okay. Roslyn. Of course. Look, our group just encountered a serious problem while we were in Africa. It got extremely violent. I wanted to sit down and have a discussion with you about how we can sort of divide up relic sites between our organizations. There's no beef between you and me, and I feel like it'd be very reasonable for us to divide the sites and if our organizations run into each other, have some protocols for, what are they calling it? Deconfliction? I don't know how much you know about these National Socialists in Germany, but things happen there that some of our organization regret deeply. We're adults and gentlemen, men of influence, power, and wealth, nobility. There's no reason for the two of us to come to blows. You've also been searching for relics throughout the world, right? Yes, exactly. Relic sites, places where you find things like this. I just want to make sure that we aren't stepping in each other's toes. Things happened in Rome, is my understanding. And, they keep happening around the world. There's no reason for this violence to continue. We should bring an end to it. I would propose that the two of us meet in neutral ground, like somewhere in England. We just sit down and have a conversation. Your top guys, my top guys, no violence. We just sit down and have a talk. We can do it at nighttime if that would make you feel better. Oh, really? Okay, well, we'll meet at a pub somewhere in southern England. Oh, sure. I'll let you choose the time and place for our face-to-face. Great hearing from you. Look forward to seeing you in person. We'll divide the world between us. I hang up. And I look at the satchel that I've been wearing since the time skip. And then I 1,000-yard stare off into the distance and let somebody else do something. Sorry, a piano? Why would we destroy a beautiful piano to take out a pub? A crappy piano? Why wouldn't I just get it tuned to be a good piano?
The finish is all wrong.
Oh my god. Everything about this is wrong.
Unless you want me to make some rolls, Carl will go read up on the updates and laws to the German population, and then he will go back to go into the workshop to work on his bar. Oh boy. Can I get any help from the librarian? Okay. He needs help. He's not the smart. Oh my god.
Kane, why are you so bad at this? I don't understand how you statistically have rolled more double ones than the entire rest of the group combined.
I don't know either.
You don't even roll that much compared to anyone else.
I don't. You roll more than anyone else, and I still get all the double ones. Everyone is happy in Germany. All positive restoration rhetoric. Okay.
Wow, well, that sounds great. I should support all that.
I don't understand what's good. You know what? This whole this group must truly be a fringe group. I wonder if the German government even really knows about them. Yeah.
Yeah, he calls the city Danzig instead of Gdansk. That's what I know about Carl right now.
Yeah, otherwise he's gonna go work on his bar in the workshop. Yeah.
I did the dramatic gas for you, Pondo, and this is how you treat us?
One weight less. It weighs 17. Yeah. If you're looking for a project and this, I mean, this looks like it's already the way that I was trying to make this. I think we both win here. Hey, thank you.
Montre was going to. He's gonna, along with, the corpse slash partially broken body of the other guy. He just casually just drags it around. He just took one, and same difference to him. He was just like, "Well, they're dead." Crab. Yeah, that's right, because he did his kaboom hand cannon with a pea shooter. That's his. That's his. What is it? Modus operandi.
Oh, you know what? I would have also asked that guy before he left if he had a lead on reliable shot shells. Like, does he have a preferred vendor or something that seems to deliver quality shells to him? Because I keep running in. If you
Kid made.
let me know where you're, let me know who you're contacting to get them shipped over here, and that'd be a help. The slugs run just fine, but for some reason, every time I use a different vendor for shot shells. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. It's jam first shot, yeah. Roll another double ones.
He's going to repair it, and he's not 100% sure what he wants to do with it because he's kind of at a spot where he's kind of just a normal person and not it's very much like Caesar is, but Caesar's doing his reading and Montre's just tinkering. Like he likes his gun and he doesn't want to modify his gun anymore, but he doesn't get to use his gun enough, so he wants to use his hands.
Well, you'd find Carl in the workshop.
Yeah. Oh, and I finally did take my edge that I've been trying to pick for like a month now of real lifetime. I've went ahead and added frenzy to my repertoire. It's a fun one. In case I get to melee now, I get an extra random fighting die. It's beat the living snot of everything. But
Yeah.
I don't really have a plan for this. It's just Montre wants to, if not build a backup body, at least know enough about how his own works so he could be like, yeah, just cut this piece right here completely off, hit me with a blowtorch. We'll have to replace it when we get back home. Yeah.
Hey, Montre,
Yes.
I know you want to tinker on this thing, and I know it's kind of hard for you to see what I'm doing when I'm helping you out. I could definitely show you all those things on here.
Okay. I
But I
would,
have two
however, like you to be
questions.
outside of arm's reach, just in case he actually is not dead.
Yeah, that was kind of one of my questions. What happens if you wake this guy up? Do you think he might still be in there?
He'll be very unhappy to be dead again. The team is priority, I'm afraid. If possible, though, maybe he will not immediately go insane and try to kill everyone. But I don't know how he was made. I can't guarantee you he was created the right way, and maybe the ghost guy that you guys played with before is involved, and it might be a little broken. He taps on the glass of the head. It's like he didn't talk much before, and I like to talk. So
I guess, but you don't. I mean, when you're shooting your gun, you don't talk as much.
true, I do focus pretty hard.
I mean, we don't know who this guy is. We don't know if he's finally been allowed to pass on or not. There's so much we don't know, and I do not know how dangerous this is.
Well, if it's unsupervised and left assembled enough to assemble itself, extremely dangerous. I mean, I alone could kill like 3 or 4 of you in a few seconds, and I'm not very aggressive and stealthy. I'm very unstealthy. He seemed to be kind of stealthy because he's used to wearing clothes. I don't like wearing clothes. Jacket chafes, some equivalent word thereof.
Sure. I just didn't know if you'd already thought about the danger you're putting everybody else in here, maybe. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Oh no, I won't leave him in an assemblable state. I'll take a part with me that he cannot function without when I leave. He like literally grabs the head, kind of shakes it. This does come off.
Okay. Did not realize this is how soldiers treat each other. But you know what? It's not my business. I tell you what. If you
I'm
want,
not a medic.
yeah, I guess not. I'll show you everything that I've learned on your body so far with this guy, so you can get an idea of what I already know. And if you need any help with the tinkering, I can try to teach you.
I would appreciate it. And I will try to be more circumspect with the body humor. I saw that didn't sit well.
I'm just maybe another time, just not this week.
He chuckles. It has been a weird one, and not always the best. I'm glad you are a friend. We could probably turn into very bad people without people like you.
Well, if he's like you and not something more recent, then I'm glad the doctor found you and brought you here too. I'd certainly much prefer to be behind your gun instead of in front of it.
I'm pretty sure we were really lucky that the doctor found me and I was broken. I don't want to think of what I could have done to the poor doctor. But that doesn't matter. We're all friends now. And I'm pretty sure if anybody hurt you, especially me by accident, Effie would somehow find a way to put me back together just so she could beat the ever living crap out of my soul directly. That's actually scarier than the rest of you combined.
Yeah, the more that I think about it, the less I know.
I
Thanks
just
for
don't
that.
like to think about it, really. I just say these things because they come to mind.
Yeah, thanks for that. Well, anyways, let's start with tools. Let's talk about tools, and then like let's get into
Yeah,
going around
and
this
it's
guy's
gonna-
body. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll help.
A lot of
Yeah, I figure I'm assisting him with his role because it's not my show, and I don't really know anyways.
-4. Oh, it's true.
Okay. Let's see, -4, and I've got my toolkit.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, why not?
Not worse.
Not better.
Okay. Yep, he's not trying to actually do it quick. He just wants to get comfortable. If he did fix it instantly, he'd be like, "Why is this so easy? This should not be this easy." Yeah, but Montre's not going to leave it to where it could. He's going to just pop it loose. Yeah. If it wakes up with the head without the head on, it's just yeah. Then it gets to wake up.
Now, is there anything else anybody else wants to do?
Ah, yes, that was technically quite painful for me. Yeah, I don't know, because Harlan personally wouldn't be repenting, but he did kind of have that happen to him. So would that have kind of forcefully made him repent?
But Carl, that kills people.
Good way to put it. Um, I think I'm going to start thinking about it, but yeah, nothing for now.
I don't have anything.
Yeah. Pondo, yes, there are. Yes, there are.
But
I'm gonna tell
there's
you-
no, there's not.
I'm going to tell you this, Pondo. I have had a plan in the works for literal months. Kain knows. I told him, I didn't tell him the plan. I told him I was starting the plan. So nothing that I'm doing will be an ass pull. But yeah, my plan is to kill Rosalind Omer at this meeting, of course.
I can readily verify that this has been in the works for a while. You know, speaking of the reveal, knowing that our next thing is to go meet with this guy, Carl would probably try to go back through a few things and try to be prepared to deal with a vampire.
That's really good, because I didn't have any plan to deal with a vampire. I didn't say it was a good plan, or that it would work out well for Sean. I said it was a plan. Pondo, listen, I can tell you the plan, but I could also show you the plan, and you can be as surprised as everybody else when I do it. Look, I'm giving you the option because as a game master, I would want to know to help expand the gameplay experience. Because when players have pulled this shit on me, it drives me nuts. The Solaris Knights mission, where it turned into a 3-way conflict between 7 players or something, I was like, okay, well, I'm not even game mastering this anymore. I don't know what's happening. I wish someone had told me what was going on, because apparently I'm the only one that didn't know. But hey, not every game master is as controlling and iron-fisted with their content as I am. If you wish to experience being surprised by the brilliant genius of a plan that I've already admitted is not accounted for the fact that he's a vampire, no, I don't think so. No, it's gonna be quick.
This is when we intro the torpedoes.
My plan is to survive this, just to be clear.
Skip bombing. For some reason, we're using the Catalina for skip bombing today.
But yeah, Carl is going to go through his family lore and whatnot to put together a plan to deal with an angry vampire.
We have an occult library on base.
Could I argue another +1 for my specific history and background and family materials? Okay, I'll take my raise and be a little bit more ready for this. Carl is trying to be prepared to. He's thinking about 2 concerns. The first is, if we meet this guy, what can, aside from presumably being a fairly charismatic individual for being a person in power like he is there anything about him supernaturally that we should be worried about influencing or controlling our conversation with him? And the other thing he wants to do is he wants to show up there ready to slay a vampire. Less immediate fiery doom and more painful and annoying. That's more of a, if they're old enough, they might have had the occasion to learn these additional things, and it's not inherent to their condition. Okay. He's willing to meet us. Yeah, he's willing to meet us in the daytime, and yeah. Yeah. So here's what I would like to do. I would like to, given some of the things we've already seen with Sean recently, I would like to ask Sean if he could score me some holy water.
I mean, that depends on Pondo's definition of holy water. I mean, do I have that capability? As someone who has faith but isn't a Catholic priest. I'm not a member of the clergy, but you could call me a religious figure. Okay, because holy water like isn't in the book, I think. But yeah.
Blessed.
In the words of Gamers 2, I think I saw a lake back there.
There's birds. There's squirrels. Bless everything.
I will bless whatever amount of water he wants, and I will do so in the name of Saint Olga, calling upon her power. Am I? That doesn't. I have a D10 spirits, and then So I got my faith to D6, and then I up my spirits to D10. Yes. And then next time we receive a status upgrade, I'll get a D10 faith. But yes, I'm not super good right now.
I'd also like to. I want to get my hands on an over/under hunting shotgun, and I want to saw that thing down and make some wooden slugs so that I can try to stake him with a pistol-sized over/under. And if I
Hail to the
can, I'd
flag.
like to. If I can, I'd like to make 2 of them. So here's my thought. I'm gonna take a section of wood that's gonna act as the stake, and then I want to put whatever wood my raise on occult tells me I need. Oh, then whatever the hardest wood he can find is, and he'd treat it.
The heart of a 100-year-old oak tree which grew in the Black Forest.
And then he's gonna take a metal disc and put it on the back before trying to load it into a shell, so that the force presses against the metal disc to push it instead of directly against the wood and splintering it. And then seal this all together in the shotgun. He's not imagining he's not making extra shells to try to put in. He's really just trying to make it sturdy enough that he can place it in the shotgun and lock it. And then that's why he's got 2 of them. They're fire and forget. He doesn't think he's going to be able to make these shells in a way that he could store them in a pocket and not have them like have like the wood get worked out or anything. Yeah, he needs his 1 and a spare.
It's not paranoia if something's actually out to try to blow up in your face.
Yeah.
Like anybody on the other side of us, and my gun is definitely going to try to get shot at by me. So it's like, yeah, he is going to shoot him.
Okay. These are definitely 2 disposable weapons. All right, he makes himself his pair of over/under pistols. Yep. Yep.
Hurting on the person shot and the person shooting.
And then yeah, he's gonna make himself some. He's gonna get himself some little glass jars for some holy water, and he's gonna also fill like a canteen worth. Get some glass jars. Mr. Dublin blessed a couple gallons of water, so we got plenty to work with. And
Please, my father was Mr. Dublin. Call me Sean.
Sean helped us out with a couple gallons of holy water.
I have to tell you, I didn't do anything. It was the one true God, Jesus Christ, who made this holy water.
I do also recommend that anybody who is a believer in the one true God should bring your crosses. If you have something to wear, so it's not, we don't want to walk in there being very obvious. I have a sneaking suspicion that if you are not a believer, that it will have no effect.
Look, guys, I'm the only one that's going in. I just need the rest of you to wait nearby, just in case anything happens.
I'm just trying to make sure that we're as prepared as we can be for just in case something happens.
Sure, I understand. Look, the plan to have ready to kill a vampire is probably a good one, but I'm just going in there to have a discussion with Reslin Omer so that we can deconflict. I hear your concerns about what's been happening with the murdering, and I feel like there should be less murdering. We should definitely, oh man, how can I say this as sinister and ominously as possible? We should definitely end up in a situation where there is no need for further conflict between our two groups.
Didn't we determine that he tried to murder us as soon as we left?
They were
Harlen
terrible
takes
drivers.
educated guesses as fact. No, Harlen takes educated guesses as fact.
We're going to discuss peace here at the table. Look, I know what you're all thinking about it, but let me say this. You only make peace with your enemies.
I'm gonna let you
do
finish
have-
the talk. I'm gonna prepare for when things go wrong around us.
Sure, I don't disagree, but
I do
You
have
know.
one more thought maybe for to make sure that your peace talks stay exactly as you want them to be.
yeah.
Miss Effie,
Yes.
do you have the ability to protect others from magic?
Yes.
Say if Mr. Ruslin has been around long enough to have learned how to influence the minds of others in undue ways.
I don't think I do, no. They're all physical stuff, so like a physical barrier or the deflect.
Yeah, big obvious things.
Then, okay. Well, Mr. Sean will have the power of Christ to protect his mind.
I'm good. A pub, sure. Yeah. No, inside. I wouldn't want to discomfort him by putting him in the sunlight at the beginning of the meeting.
Montre just waiting for something. Like, okay, what are we doing? What am I
Harlen
serving?
will. Did anyone claim the silver bullets?
Carl took them, but you could certainly have a conversation with him about them.
Yeah, Harlan's gonna talk to Carl about getting those silver bullets. Just
You understand these bullets aren't of the anti-tank variety you currently use.
I said, I think I'll try and keep another firearm for him. But it seems like if we're going into this, it might be good to have more options around. And I have the one that steals my soul, but I like to not use that as much as I can.
I don't understand the nature of that device, and if I can help you not need to resort to the option of corrupting or damaging your immortal soul, then I'm 100% for helping you. Let's get I'm sure we can get another Luger. I've got more than one magazine of these silver rounds, so we can split them.
Thank you. Would be much appreciated. That, or if we can, I'm not sure if it's possible to transfer them to proper 45 ammunition, but either way, I could use more options. It seems like will be necessary.
I'm in the middle of a project right now, but if depending on time or maybe after we get back, we could certainly look into casting some in 45.
True. But is it really fun if we just force him to use money on all of our problems?
So yeah, we'll get our hands on another Luger, which I'm sure won't be too hard.
Yeah.
His
And
money
I
on
mean,
our side.
Have you seen Band of Brothers? It took them like 6 episodes.
and then yeah, we'll each have one magazine of silver 9mm rounds. Sure. Yeah, Carl will be, as he like hands it to you, says, "You do know that while I certainly am of the same mind of being prepared, unless we are grievously wrong, those will have no additional effect on on Olmar. He's just telling Harlan, like, hey, if you plan to shoot Ruslan with it, you might as well just use your 45. He's just letting Harlan know. That's all.
Just want to get ahead of it in case it's better to handle it before it becomes a problem.
There's a couple different effects that different things have, but yeah, that will do nothing to nothing more to Mr. Ulmer. But I am of the same mind. It's better to be overprepared than underprepared. I'm keeping both of them.
Boom.
It won't be my shoulders. It'll be my wrist.
Elbows.
Yeah, they're over under pistols. They're 12 gauge over under pistols. It's awful. He's never gonna open the action on these again, so he's not expecting the shotguns to survive. Yeah.
Blow up towards the enemy.
One hopes.
Yeah. Sure. I have everyone wait around the corner and let them know that if something happens, they can come and save me. And then I go alone with my satchel into the restaurant, which I assume has been reserved, so it's just our group and their group. Yeah. Is Dr. Ignacio there? I go in, I go, I see. Problem one with a plan. No, it's fine. Because I said, bring your top guys. But we don't know that Ignacio is working with him. I meta assumed it, and I'm now paying the price for my hubris. But we don't know. We don't know about Ignacio. We don't know that Ignacio is working with him.
I don't know.
I believe it has all been out of character. I don't think we know. We also suspect but don't know that Carl's brother is working with him. I assume he's not here.
Is that a Dawson?
Yes. Sure. I'm gonna walk in and go, oh, for some reason I thought Mr. Ignacio would be here. I thought he was one of your top guys. We got a tip on it while we were in Africa. Sure. Well, just like how I blatantly harassed you for a couple of months, nothing I put in there was technically untrue, but it was mean-spirited. Sure, for someone as old as you, it must have seemed truly immature. 2 months should have passed with almost nothing happening. Oh, my mistake. I had heard otherwise. Yeah, but before we get started, look, I really have to go to the bathroom. It's just something that the living still do. Okay, all right. So he's gonna sit down, right? And he's gonna take his satchel off and then leave it underneath his chair and then get up and act like he's going to the bathroom and then jump out the back door. And in his hand is a shit ton of pull cords for steel hand grenade 24s. I have enough money to have easily bought a shit ton of anti-tank grenades. Just left them in a bag for several months. Yeah, Pondo, I'm gonna blow up a room with the bad guy and all of his top men in it, motherfucker. And I even gave him the option to not have this meeting in daylight, and he chose to do it anyway. So eat shit, Pondo. My plan is to do infinity d6 damage to him. I don't. You even called my plan earlier. Here's the original plan. The original plan was to get Ignacio in England at the meeting, and then I would say I wanted to apologize personally to him, and then I would use a little confidence man trick, which is where if you hand somebody something, they almost always take it immediately. It's things that like people at Costco that pass out the food thing do. It doesn't matter what it is, people almost always take what's handed to them. I would have handed him the pull tabs from the grenades so that when we got outside, I'd hand it to him and say, could you hold on to this for me? And then after the explosion, I would go, look, it's one of the nationalists from Spain. I recognize him. He just killed a whole bunch of Englishmen. And I would blame Ruslan Omer's murder on him. Ah, thievery? Is thievery even a skill? Well, guess what, motherfucker? I have a card that lets me take a d6 in any skill for the remainder of the game session.
So prepared
Wow.
for this.
I forgot about the cards.
I never forget about the cards, motherfucker. Every single time we're in trouble, I always have the cards. All right, so
You trust the heart of the cards, you could say.
so I can just roll any d6 skill I have then, and we'll just assume it's thievery. Okay, I'm gonna roll faith then. Not double ones, please. Sheesh. How's a 5? Is that all right?
It's okay. Is that good?
Can I use Benny's on him? What? 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 Yeah. Okay. Do several of his guys also die? Okay. After I recover from the shock of multiple close-range grenades going off, I start shouting as loudly as I can, and I don't know how loud that is because I'm basically deaf. I'm shouting, "Kill Ruslan!" Yeah, Pondo. That's how I do it.
Side of a building just explodes off.
All I have is my cross. I didn't bring any weapons. So I'm just holding my cross out towards him, the burning wreckage of a building around me.
2 sets of killers, both sides are like, okay, broad daylight.
It's all right.
This is going to be a bad final battle, guys. I made several mistakes here. Can you imagine a world where Ignacio's the final boss? Because we kill Ruslan here.
If we somehow manage to not get totally screwed here, I have a card for the end of the fight.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Ruslan.
Wow.
Sean was my true love.
Yep, I still have it.
Well, take it away from him. That's not. Listen to this overreach.
I guess we need to do initiative now.
Indeed. Wow. Let's give it a minute. Takes a few seconds for the gun to start spinning. Like this super nasty, let's settle this, play at the beginning of a combat with no jokers. No character can soak a wound until jokers are drawn. I'm not playing it, but that's freaking brutal. I mean, if it was just Montre, it's not a huge deal to him, but yeah, everyone else is squishy. Don't know. We're still on the main map.
Yeah. We're just looking at our beautiful art. Yep,
Got vision enabled.
I have an orb of vision around myself. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see.
I'm a real boy.
Oh boy.
This might be a crazy question, Pondo, but are you sure we don't want to save this combat until next episode? I mean, we're kind of towards the end here.
Yeah.
I need to come up with a better plan than holding a cross out. It's literally the only thing I have, though.
I
I
mean,
didn't bring holy water in there with me. I assume that would be
That-
threatening.
everybody else did.
Yeah,
you,
you
I
should.
mean, do you really think it's going to take that long? You know, Harley's just going to shoot him once and do 60 damage to him.
Wow. Listen, we cannot rely on the two of you top decking big dice rolls, okay? Yeah, it's probably not going to be
There's
next
many
week.
things that need to be planned.
It's probably going to be 2 or 3 months from now.
Ah,
I'm just, hey, whoa. I'm not saying I'm not showing up. Guys, it's a joke in reference to how often these sessions happen, okay?
Considering, yeah, the sort of pickup nature of it starting, we were meeting a lot at first. I mean, for me, once I get past this home situation getting straightened out, I'll be steady again. Not that
We'll
I
get
wasn't
back on it, guys.
steady.
No, Pondo, don't give it to me. I went in here arrogantly. My plan literally exploded in my face. It's time to face the music. Sure.
Off to the left.
Pretty,
As much as we want to dog on the reliability of Carl shooting shotguns, even if they're hand-sized, these are effectively slugs. Yeah. Okay.
look. It's very important that Pondo have at least a week to come up with a way to make mechanics out of holding a cross towards a vampire. Because that's going to be my A game.
I think he's.
Oh, are there?
Might also
Okay,
just
well,
have one of
great.
his guys come and smack you and smack it out of your hands.
Well, I tried to kill all of them, so that's a pretty reasonable plan. You know,
And I'm really hoping that these wrist breakers will have a vigor roll to like for the toughness of my wrist bones. Instead of something else. I mean, as long if whatever. Well, I was thinking, like instead of his wrists breaking, he makes like a vigor roll to see if he can tough it out and his bones don't break.
Tough it out.
Oh yeah, they're gonna hurt, but but at least there's a chance they won't be broken. Yeah, can we take a boat back?
This feels like a mistake.
Sean's my co-pilot. He can just fly us back. Oh, nice.
Back, spirit, back.
okay, like, fatigue, like, if we throw shit tons of holy water, he'll just fall asleep on the ground, or fatigue, like, oh man, it was a tough day at the pub today. Okay, well, you know what? You guys have a whole week to plan around all of the weapons you have. And you know what I be doing? It's holding out a cross.
I brought my
No.
dingo heavy machine gun with me.
I didn't even think we went in the dingo. I assume we just went in like a flatbed truck or something. I really didn't want them thinking we came to this meeting to murder them, specifically so that they would be surprised when I murdered them. You actually called it though. I was like, ooh, he's onto me. Well, of course I did. My plan. Listen, this is not the first time I've had a plan to murder. Look, if we've ever seen Braveheart, you know that the classic English play is to get a bunch of your enemies together for peace talks, then you set fire to the hut, you kill all of them, and then William Wallace grows up and goes, wow, the English killed my father. I'm going to kill them. All right? Well, they killed my father, and I'm going to do the most English thing possible to them, which is to keep them in a hut during a peace talk and set it on fire.
I'm gonna do my best to longshanks these guys.
Yeah, but I'm no Longshanks, apparently. I'm way too Irish for that.
I got 4 shots, guys, and my last advances were all in shooting.
Amazing.
So, yeah, yep. I gotta land one of
King
these.
just double ones every single shot. No stopping him.
I got
Don't put that even on him.
Carl sees this as 4 chances, so he's going to fire them separately and just try to multi-action to aim. He's going to try real hard to land these. I hope this
Yeah.
goes well.
Me too. It's incredible that there's an opportunity that both my character and myself were both overly arrogant at the same time. That is just the way it is. It did fail though. and
There's
it
my
failed pretty
inevitable
badly.
betrayal of my own self.
Yeah.
Why didn't I know I would do this to me? I think the whole time, like, Montre's probably standing there going, I wonder what the signal's going to be. Kadoom! Well, that's definitely not the signal. That's way too loud for him.